Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our mini series on assessment. Again, each day we are going to be walking through and reviewing one of the tools that we've talked about and that are being included in your child portfolio. So if we look at our schedule, our focus for today is developmental checklists and rating scales. So as we're thinking about developmental checklists and rating scales, I wanted to refer to 2 different resources. So we have here where it helps us to think about what a checklist and a rating scale are. And so you can see here the definition of a checklist is the presence or absence of a behavior. And a rating scale looks more at whether the behavior or skill is sometimes present, is always present, or is never present. So when we think about a checklist or a rating scale, we're thinking about specific developmental information that you are observing for and checking off. So again, to think about what are the differences between a rating scale and a checklist. With a rating scale, it is really as simple as a yes or a no. Yes, you saw it, or no, you have not. Of the behavior is there, the skill is there, or it is not. Whereas with a rating scale, it's really looking at providing a little bit more detail in terms of is it something that you sometimes see, is it something that you always see, or is it something that you never see? Right, so beyond the yes and the no, there's a sometimes. And we can look back at the website that we used in class to look specifically at observation with infants and toddlers. And so when we're looking specifically at the section in checklists and rating scales, again, there is the definition of what is a checklist. There's also some information around why would we use a checklist, and really a checklist is a simple way to really get a snapshot around what children know and are able to do. Oftentimes we will use a checklist or a rating scale when we are observing for a specific skill across the class, right? So if you're thinking about maybe cognition, and are children able, let's say with a group of toddlers, are they able to count 2 objects with one-to-one correspondence? So pointing to one and then pointing to the other and counting 1, 2. That might be something that you have maybe while you're playing with blocks, or you have manipulatives out, or anything that they could count, right? That you are observing whether or not the child can point to 2 objects and count them in order. Right? The other thing that I did share in class when we first reviewed this is that if you are using Teaching Strategies Gold, that the on the spot is a checklist, right? Because you can pick a specific domain and specific objectives within that domain to focus on. You can print that out and you can check whether it's something that you see sometimes, that you see all the time, or you're not seeing it. Okay. So as we're thinking about checklists and rating scales, the other thing that I did want to go from here, another one of the resources that I shared with you is the CDC milestone moments. So what's really nice about the CDC milestone moments, those give you milestone information in terms of children's development. And you can use this resource in creating a checklist and thinking about what specific skills you would expect to see at a specific age. So let's say we're looking at 18-month-old children. So the child that we are observing is 18 months. Perhaps the class that we're teaching, the children are between, let's say, 15 and 20 months. We might want to focus on the 18-month milestone. You could also pull information from the 24-month or 2-year-old milestone. And so then we have this list of things that you tend to see within each of the domains. So, for example, if we're focusing on movement and physical development, so really thinking about gross and fine motor, these are things that you would tend to see: walks alone, may walk up steps and run, pulls toys while walking, so on and so forth. The other really nice thing about this resource is that it includes videos. So it shows us what this looks like, right? So here is a video of a 1-year-old or an 18-month-old walking alone. And it also includes photos. Drinks from a cup. Now, as I shared yesterday, as we were looking at our assignment with the portfolio, right? And as we were thinking about our topics for this week, right? So we have here our list of different tools that we will be walking through, or different ways of documenting our observations. And we are not specifically going to be looking at work samples or video samples. I did explain that there is information in your textbook under the portfolio section. But again, this is very self-explanatory, right? A photo is a photo, a video is a video. And you use those to document specific skills. However, when we're looking at the milestone moments, and we're looking at these milestones that you could include in a checklist or a rating scale, there are photos and videos that you could use. Now, again, one of the things that we've been talking about is that we were in progress in pulling together the portfolios when everything shut down. So we're going to be looking at a minute in some videos that I've shared with you that you can use for your observations if you were not able to complete all of the observations for your portfolio. If you are choosing to use photos and videos as one of your items within your portfolio, and you were not able to collect the photos or collect the videos while your center was still open, this is another resource that you could use to pull that from. Okay. So if we go back to our platform, I had posted on the 3rd some links to videos. Now, these are videos that were very, very generously shared with me from the Program for Infant Toddler Care, or West Ed, and you can see, look at that. This is the same resource that we've been using for our observations, right? I had reached out to them when the quarantine started, and they shared this with me. So this is giving us access to videos that were not always available before. So let's see. If we look back at our milestones for 18 months, again, we can keep with our items around movement and physical development. So we have walks alone, may walk upstairs, pulls toys while walking, can help undress herself, drinks from a cup, eats with a spoon. Right, so those are all things that we're looking for. So let's watch the video on dancing with scarves. Okay. So when we look back at our physical milestones, we saw that the children were walking alone, correct? We did not really see anything that would give us information in terms of the ability to undress themselves or drink or eat. However, based upon the movement that we saw, I would guess that the children were able to, we definitely saw some running, and we saw some skills that would show us that they could pull toys while walking. Right? Okay, so that ends our time today. So please reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will be meeting again tomorrow at 8 a.m. And again, the presentation will also be recorded and posted. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
You too. Bye, Sisenia. It's good that you